A principle of deserts is that winds blow into their depths and point the way towards deeper desolation and the arid, disinterested heart of the wastes. While standing upon a broad, open plain at night, invisible mountains miles distant on either side, their outline visible only by the interruption of starlight through the cold, thin atmosphere, a slight veil between the bare, stony ground and outer space. I shiver alone and cold, feeling the dead desert breath draw me in like a tide. I remember this first experience was decades ago, when I was a young man. I'm not young at all anymore. When I was a young man, and let me try this. I'm trying to sip my coffee. I forgot the filter thingy, so I forgot a second pot to boil the water in that could filter. So I'm going to try to sip through this filter. Yeah, it kind of doesn't work. Yeah, that's hot. That ain't working. Because I got the grounds in the water. I remember it must have been 22 or 3. And you're in the desert. I must have been 40 miles that away. Pretty desolate place, kind of like this. And I remember getting up in the middle of the night, took my motorcycle out into the middle of nowhere, parked, set up tent, had a tent. Got up in the middle of the night, stood, kind of embarrassing. It was hot, it was summer, so stood naked in the middle of the night to take a leak. And I remember standing there on the sand afterwards, just kind of staring up at the stars and the outline of the mountains on either side. You can kind of see the mountains here. And imagine not being able to actually see the mountains, but you can see the starlight behind the mountains. So that was tracing the outline of the mountains by the stars, in which the mountains, of course, interrupted those. And that sense of being in that empty and the wind blowing, kind of like it is now, feeling so small and insignificant then, that really did, that planted some seeds for me. Well, standing upon the broad, open plain at night, invisible mountains miles distant on either side, their outline visible only by the interruption of starlight through the cold, thin atmosphere, a slight veil between the bare, stony ground and outer space. I shiver alone and cold, feeling the dead desert breath draw me in like a tide. I've since felt that many times out here. I've relived that experience deliberately, quite often, by just simply getting up in the middle of the night, standing naked or not. I'm more modest now. And witnessing the arch of heaven, the interruption of starlight, if the moon is full, the presence of that pale body. It brings back all those emotions. Good experience to have.